Okay, my name's Nick Leeks. I'm a senior art advisor at the LAX, the London Art Exchange, and my role is walking through people financial decisions and basically their purchase decision when they purchase art. Now, we're a financial grade investment institution and art gallery based in Soho. We're a boutique, so we're by appointment only, and that helps basically us encourage deep connection with the art and encourage personal exploration with the art. We wanted to get involved with Mind in the 30 for 30K campaign because we wanted to explore the discourse around mental health, make it more aware, and help destigmatize mental health problems. We do sip and paint within our gallery, so helping people learn about art and also express themselves through art. We also encourage discourse about art with our clients, with people that come to view the art, and help them explore their own emotions when they see the art. We also work with young people, helping them express themselves through art, and that's it really. We work with a range of artists. We work with blue chip artists and emerging artists. So we work with artists that are on the forefront of the contemporary market, ones that are exploring the boundaries of what is possible with self-expression. We're working with emerging artists who really understand what it's like to go through lived experiences of mental health. And we work with artists who really understand what it likes to survive in this modern age. Yes, the anonymity is a part of their story because sometimes they're being so vulnerable, they're not able to show who they really are because they wish the art for it to speak for itself. And they're revealing a part of themselves which is in a safe space, but also at the same time they want to protect their identity because they are being so vulnerable with themselves and they are showing a part of themselves which is so dark that they fear the judgment. As an individual, I would define mental health as being able to deal with the stresses of modern life. I would define that as being the social pressures, the social norms, and the boxes that we're put in, the categories that we're put in daily life. It's the judgments that we feel. It's the compassion that we didn't feel when we were younger. It's the people that we look up to. It's the people that we look down on. Mental health is an all-encompassing journey. It's a self-revelatory journey, and it's one that reveals itself every step that we take. So Mr. Phantom, he is a great artist, and he's one of our emerging artists, and he is established in the art world. He has a name for himself, and some of the work that he does is great. It's tragic almost. You know, there is solidarity and solitude, as I define him, as I call him. He speaks to the loneliness of modern life, but he also shows that solidarity, that togetherness that is really important to feel when you have your support structure around you. When you have the people supporting you, you're able to express yourself, and I think Mr. Phantom really does show that side of modern life. Now, Jacob the artist, he shows a more light-hearted nature. He expresses the trials and tribulations of childhood. He expresses himself through motifs of youth and vivacity. Now, he's someone who's a bit more light-hearted, someone a bit more approachable, and someone that you can really understand from a first glance. The ways in which we protect our artists is more in a financial sense. So we create that foundation for them to create art. We create that safety, we create that safety net, and we create that safe space for them, and we give them the independence, and we also give them the agency to create art that's true to them. I think art is all positive, you know. Art is essentially a mirror to yourself. Your other self, the one that you don't accept. Maybe your shadow self, the parts of your personality that you reject. So I think art is all positive, but in a negative sense, it could be too harrowing for some people. It could be too gory, but that's why we use soft colors. That's why we use paints to express how we feel about the dark sides of our personality. And when we're expressing ourselves, we're showing people that we accept those sides of our personality that we at first rejected. I think it's all about active listening and knowing that everyone's mental health journey is their own journey. So being the right kind of support can manifest itself in active listening to that person intently and fully, knowing that they are alone but they're also together with you. I've been through some mental health struggles, and I've known that having my family around, having my friends around, having a routine and structure in my life, being able to plan for the future, being able to understand my past and being present to the moment has been the biggest help to me. So tips for artists, I would say just be true to yourself and inspire others. The modus operandi of most artists is to inspire others, inspire action, inspire motivation, inspire discipline, inspire empathy. The name of the game is inspiration. Now, surefire ways to succeed in this world, apart from being true to yourself, Andy Warhol said, being good at business in itself is art. So I would quote Andy Warhol on that. Another surefire way would be to work with the LAX. So to get visibility and be represented by a gallery, you really need to appeal to people's emotions. It needs to be true, it needs to be raw, it needs to be emotive, and the work needs to be to a certain grade of technicality good. I always say good is better than great. Good turns up every day. Good shows up and puts in the work. Great might be talented, but they might rest on their talents. They might not be listening to everyone that's relevant. They might not be interested in the business side of things. They might be lazy, but talented. But good turns up every day, shows that they're disciplined, shows that they're on the same wavelength as everyone else. Good is someone that works hard, and good is someone that believes in themselves. Tip for a young artist, I would say, is your best friend is online. Your best friends are online, your best mentors. Da Vinci's there, Warhol's there, Takashi Murakami's there. He's ready to lend an ear and tell you whatever you need to hear at the right time. There's so many resources available to you. If you're open to listen and you're open to hear their message, then surely you'll succeed. Now, personally, I like to draw, I like to paint, and I'm stealing this from Bruce Lee, but ultimately all knowledge is self-knowledge. Everything you learn about yourself, and everything you learn about yourself, you learn about others. So be that mirror to society, be that mirror to conflict, be that mirror to injustice, be that mirror to the lack of empathy that might exist in the modern world. Be the mirror, and surely you'll succeed. We have two great artists we're working with, Christine Vega and Gabrielle Malak. Now, Vega is someone who's grounded in reality, but also expresses herself in a dreamlike quality. So her scenes are very ethereal, and the use of colour is sublime, but she grounds it in portraiture. So she's technically very good, but she also knows how to be loose at times. Some of her work is something that I would like to hang in my own home, and her use of colour, like I said, is something that is to be envious of as someone that likes to create. You only get an understanding of colour by seeing life unfold before you and having a guttural, emotional reaction to it. Another artist we're working with, Gabrielle Malak, her use of portraiture and her subtle imagery is something that evokes, very raw emotion within me and within the audience. She is someone that can evoke the the nature of what it's like to be in a moment of ecstasy, to be in the moment of thought, of contemplation, but also perseverance. She plays with my emotions and I love it. The best thing about working at the LAX, the best thing about working in Soho is knowing that there are creative minds passing the doors every day. The best thing about working at the LAX is knowing that we're putting good art into the world and we're championing the best artists that have ever lived. We're happy to champion these artists. They've been collected by prestigious institutions and families, and some of the work they're creating, that we're helping them create, is sublime. We're helping them create a new future. We're helping them create their future. We're helping them write their own stories about the world, their own lives, and what's happening in it. We have a great team, and mostly I say it's great because we've achieved that greatness through diversity. We all have different stories and we share a part of ourselves every day. That's the most important part of a team, is knowing that there are different stories out there, different pain points that we've gone through, painful points of our lives that we've gone through, and we've all dealt with it in some way or another. The way we motivate ourselves, I think, is through balance. By trusting that one player in the team makes up for my weaknesses and one player in the team makes up for my strengths and can reinforce my strengths and knows my strengths and knows how to motivate myself and others. So we all motivate each other by creating balance within the team, and finding that balance is dynamic. One of my old science teachers told me that it's like tightrope walking. It's dynamic. When you're in balance, you're constantly making these microscopic movements to stay on the tightrope so you don't fall. So balance is a dynamic thing that we've achieved mostly through diversity and inclusivity. My advice to collectors would be to trust your art advisor, to know that they've put in the work, they understand the market itself, they understand how the market changes over time, they've done their due diligence on the industry, the market, the trends, and the efficacy of their artists to create and represent themselves as artists. I would say to collectors, trust in senior art advisors especially that have experience in the auction house world, like myself. The main thing I would say to collectors would be to trust your instincts and bet on yourself. That's the main thing. If the art evokes something in you and it makes you feel something real and raw, then I would say bet on yourself and make that purchase. At the end of the day, it's all about trust. And we only represent artists that trust themselves first and foremost to create the artworks that is going to move the world. I think betting on myself has been the biggest string to my bow that I've acquired by working in the art world, by working in sales, by working in marketing, by having a diverse range of experiences. I've always bet on myself. I've always brought ideas to the table, and I've always trusted myself first and foremost. Now, that trust has extended to others. The trust I have in myself, I'm able to trust others to the same degree. The ideas that I have, that I express, help me listen to other people's ideas. And by betting on myself, I've been able to take risks with reward. And I've seen myself grow as a person. So the stresses that I may have felt in my early career have now been washed away because I have taken action. I have been disciplined. I have shown up every day. And I have shown compassion and I have shown empathy to the people around me, and I've tried to understand them and put as much effort and positivity into them as I do myself. And it's a symbiotic relationship. It's something that will never leave me, and it's something that I will carry throughout my career. So I have many inspirations, whether that's in business or in art or just in life. But I think my friends inspire me the most because they know me the best and I know them just as well. So being able to share the stories that I go through on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, on a year-to-year basis, being able to show my vulnerable side to them and know that they're going to support me every step of the way, that's what inspires me.